What's up, guys? I'm here at 2D Farm, which is a farm that we got about 14 acres that we rent, and we graze our cattle across it. 10 cattle. We put our steer and young heifers that we don't know whether we're going to keep or we're going to get rid of, but we have them over here, and that way they don't get pregnant and get real big and juicy before we send them off to the processor, which is what we're up to today. We got 2 of these beautiful animals going to the processor tomorrow morning, and they got to come home for that ride. And not looking forward to this. What we're going to do is we're going to go back across all of where we've grazed and go to the other side, take them all the way back to a trail back in that direction, and put them onto a trailer. It's kind of like some kind of a lane. It's got pretty good fencing on either side. Not super structural, but hopefully it'll take care of it. Has in the past, and that's how we bring them home in the fall, and where we start to move them onto the pasture when they get here. So we're taking the 2 largest. I was trying to say, there's the 14 acres that we have out here, and we've got 10 cattle on it currently. That's probably not enough. I really should be further ahead in my grazing. I got tall stuff that's probably going to start to, you can see how much they're stomping into the ground. Just doesn't taste as good as the green stuff. But I might have to move the rest of my animals out here to get that fixed. With the rain that we've had this year out in this area, it's really hard to be behind in having grass. I know we had like a 2-week lull where we didn't have any hay, that we didn't have any rain. A lot of people were making hay, which I made a ton of. So we are set for the winter, and we are hopefully going to get home before dinner's done. So let's go. All right, cows, onto the trailer. Wish it was that easy. Pretty sure that's one that we're taking in. This one right behind it here too. Hey there. 2 that we're taking, so that one's a candidate, I suppose. Yeah, let's go. Move along. Hip, hip, hip. You guys do not know what's going on at all, do you? I know. Let's go. Yeah. Hip. Yeah. Got to use my angles, trying to guide them against this fence here. All they want to do is eat. So, and they are hungry. They were sitting on some pretty, move along. Ha! I should have moved them this morning when I was passing through here and get over to the Fremont farm, but I did not. I didn't make it. A lot going on. Kind of knew that I didn't want them to be particularly disinterested in me. I wanted them to have their attention on me. See how it goes. Doesn't look good. Acting a fool up there. So now it's going to be wide open and vast on the other side before we get back over to where I have them as their that lane. These guys have been through it. It's a common space that we have to travel through when we're moving them around at the farm, which they haven't been, I guess, through it a whole bunch of times because this is probably the big, I don't know, maybe 10 acres of the 14. We got another little one right behind us, and then off in the distance there's another 3-ish acres. So I don't know what that is, but they like it. Move along. There are a ton of bumps in this pasture, so might feel like a little bit rocky, and it's because it is. Hup! Come on, straggler. Ha! Well, we're like 3 minutes into this and I'm sweating my tail off already. Got some heavy duty rubber boots, which are my go-tos for anything out in the pasture. I guess I should say Crocs are probably my number one. But yeah, I'm not running out there in front of that cow to move him back. And I want him to hug this fence line over here to the left, along that kind of driveway towards that house. I want to hug that to keep him. And that's because in that corner of the pasture is where this gate is. Ha! Move along. Hup! Ha! Ha! Yeah, they're totally, what buggers. This is where it's going to get silly. I might have to turn you off and run. The best stuff that they're looking for is right up on this hill, so they're not going to keep going too much farther. Oh, look at them go right towards, that was ridiculous. It's absolutely what I was trying to avoid. 100%. I should have put up a fence line over there. That's all right. We'll get up in there and chase them back out and try to use that back fence line. I could have, if I knew that that was going to happen, just let them through here to get over there. And just did a whole walk around this center gate, just so that they can get on the other side. What a waste of my time. And energy. All right. Now we gotta holler at him to back on out of here. Ha! 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 Move along. You. Go. Ha! Get. Ha! They do like these flowers. It makes it tough. Ha! Now we're coming up on this back fence line. Ha! It's almost as if they know where they're going at this point. So what I'm doing is I'm at the 3/4 and just putting pressure by walking along and keeping off far enough up in front of them or behind them to keep them up along that fence line. It does help a lot when they all stay. When they stay tightly put. That was a minimal amount of running, huh? About enough to put me out of breath, but not bad. Here's the lane. There's where I'll make a mad dash. I'm gonna close this behind me, which I may regret, but bottom one. I think I swallowed a fly. All right, paying attention here. What do we got going on? Up ahead, they are nearly getting on. But what I hope to have happen, is to get like a handful of them on, and I can make some decisions on the trailer, kick off who I don't want on there, send them back out on the grass. I obviously don't do this all the time. I don't mind doing it. I had a neighbor a couple of weeks ago ask me, well, months ago probably, asked me if I'd start doing more content. And I guess I don't mind. I guess I do enjoy that people know their food, know their the processes. Hope to help others make good decisions on direction and how to raise their animals, give them ideas on how things work. You guys, don't go that way. Don't make a decision to go that way. There's just a trailer. I'm sorry, folks. All right, after that brief interruption, back at it. That bugger knows that it can get through that fence now, and so I'm hopefully only going to push up to 3. I'm going to push by way of pressure, by being close to them, putting pressure so that they move in the direction that I want them to, which is in this circumstance onto the trailer. Not that this changes anything, but my first attempt, the fence here on the left was not on. Not that they were going through it. Maybe they touched it. At this point, if they do, they'll get zapped. Over here on the right, the neighbors didn't want any of them on, and so I really struggled with that for a long time because I didn't have any on. And then at some point, I decided to go away from the solar to a wired charger, and when I did that, I needed some way to get the charge from back where the trailer is, because that's where the electricity is, and get that over onto onto this pasture. So it travels along this top line now on the left. Will you get on any easier in the second attempt? I really don't want that one up front on or in this grouping. Not so bad. Yeah. Feels a little nicer with 4 animals versus 10. Any chance that they'll just run right on? This one's already eyeballing this direction. On, let's go. Hep, 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 hep. Ha. Oh. You guys kidding me? All right, next trick, I'm going to get a fence reel. I think that if I wouldn't have had the camera in my hand, that I would have been responding a little bit quicker. And then I had to come around and slam that door shut, let the one off, and attempt the next time to get a second one on there instead of 2 yet. Let's see how that goes. I'll be back. Because I love pain and suffering, this is my 3rd attempt. See if we can sneak past some of these smaller guys again. Guys, I just can't do this with you. As soon as I get up to this last bowl here, where I was standing about before, I'm gonna put this reel onto that fence, try to slide it out with this. Yeah, I can't. Yep. Yep. What did I don't have that give it up mentality. That didn't work so well. You know, wrapped around it too much. Let's try that. What the heck? Here we go. I think we're finally set how I want it to be. Yep, nearly good enough. I don't know if you saw that. That wasn't awesome, but it wasn't bad. So, wanted to point out how much I would prefer not to be bringing animals in at this juncture. It's not the time of the year that I want to do it. Although it's going to taste great, they're super prime, all that good stuff. Fact of the matter is, I still have grass in front of me. The only reason I'm doing it is because I don't have beef in front of me. So in order to keep our CSA running, in order to keep our store stocked, it was imperative that I got some animals in. So that's what we got. I do finish probably about, I don't know, 6 or 7 beef each year. It's been creeping up a little bit each year, to be honest. I remember when it was 5 a couple of years ago. A lot easier today. Just got my systems down better, got my CSA up to low 40s. So, about the prime spot. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you want one of these fine steaks, you know where to find me. In our farm store on the internet, www.theg.farm. Get on our CSA. All those are great choices. So, maybe you want to see these guys all go back and see how easy that is. I imagine that they are pretty happy to be out of that path there. Not their favorite zone. I actually have in the past tried to keep cattle on that space. By keep cattle, I mean like graze it overnight. I got agitated when the owner was, I mean, I pay for that space. Why can't I just put cows on it for a day or two? You know, that's, you kind of figure each cow is about $2.50 in feed a day, something about in that range. It's pretty standard. And so if I got 10, it's $25, $50. It's like $50 worth of grass. I mean, that's crazy. So why can't I do that a couple of times through the year? Well, the reason is that the cows get out towards the fence that's not on, and they do have something to say about it, which is fair. I do not wish or want them to be in there on their property. It's just unfortunate that they are right squarely center in the middle of the whole property. And they literally farm on 3 sides of them, moving the cattle around their property. They did at one time have before the owner that I rent from had this property, they would have their front 2 or 3 acres added to the field that is managed here, which is was corn and soy, is a rotation. And when the landowner got in, he came and put wildflower, and I'd written about in my email having the opportunity to graze and on other properties and how I'd be interested in fencing it off. And he is absolutely 100% ecologically minded, and that's where we have common ground and are able to build a relationship and work together. So can't be easy on his end. I mean, I hear it from neighbors. It's never fun. I really make it sound like it happens all the time. It does, like twice a year. Like, is that all the time? More than I want. But it gets better. It has been better. It's only been, I guess, the last 2 years it's been marginal. Last year I was having some issues with electrical getting unplugged and undone that caused a couple of headaches. But yeah, the landowner is really gracious and understanding, and can't thank him more for that. So, all right, y'all, you have a wonderful day, and now you know where to find me. Bye.